book now. You know what I mean? In my chakra portion of the book, I talk about, I should read that shit. How much time we got?
We got about 15 minutes. Yeah.
Let me see if I can find it fast, and let me see how many pages this shit is.
No problem.
And if it's quick enough, Kabayan, hold on. If it's quick enough and I can find it quick enough, let's see. Okay, you have the of course the root chakra, the shoes, the feet. Then the orange, actually, when she was in Munchkin land, was the intuition, which was the good witch of the West. The first one, Glinda, she's wearing an orange dress. She tells her to follow the yellow brick road. They get to the Emerald City, where she meets the wizard, who's just all voice. Blah, 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 blah. Go get the witch, who's the pineal. She melted it, Kundalini. Then she goes home. But then before she goes home, she had to deal with three aspects of the human psyche: the animal self, the heart, and the head. So of course she gives them the degree, which is that's what they give niggas out here in school to shut them up. The degree they give these niggas. Then the other niggas who don't go to school, they go to where? To the war and the army to fight for their country, and they give them that purple heart or whatever. And then just courage, you know, for the human scared ass human. They're talking about just the human animal fear aspect, because you know it's fight or flight in the jungle. That's the animal. So either fear, flight, or fight. So the animal, he had no fight. Fear was encompassed. Cowardly lion gets the this and that. Now he's got the fight. You know what I'm saying? To be that human. So all of these parts of him were appeased, or parts of her actually were appeased for her to go back to purity. So she actually had, and that's one of the things I also teach in class, that you're not beating your ego, you're appeasing your ego. You're giving the baby his bottle. So you could just look, let me move my foot on this side so you don't see my bunion. I move the camera. I got a shitload of fucking sneakers that will never end. You know what I'm saying? Floor, top, bottom, you know what I'm saying? In that corner, piled up on the floor, and still in the closet. I appease the ego. There was the time, oh, we can't have Nikes, can't have this. Then I said, well, let me try something. Let me get it everything it wants. And I start to recognize my ego no longer gets in the way of humanity, because it's like a baby. Just give it the dumb shit it likes. All them little sneakers and all that shit that you grew up with in the psyche, why fight it? Give it to it, especially if you can afford to do it. You know what I'm saying? If you can't afford to, you might have to fix your mind a little bit different. But appeasing it as opposed to trying to destroy it, that's in the Wizard of Oz. Give him his award for his heart and his award for his college degree. You're appeasing the ego. Him this medal for courage, appeasing the ego. And the what's the name? He got a ticker though. Okay, but appeasing the ego. And so here we feed out, we don't fuck that poor righteous teacher shit. That's a myth. You can have whatever you want. Your power is here. So the material shit for us is a side effect. True light is the knowledge. If we ain't gaining no knowledge, then I've killed myself with this shit. You know what I'm saying? As long as that light is coming, all this shit is a side effect. And this shit follows. This shit chases us. I never chased this shit. I wasn't even chasing this shit when I was a human nigga. This shit follows us because your ego wants to survive. And I left it no other place to exist but as a servant. Oh, y'all niggas ain't ready for that.
Woo.
Y'all ain't ready for that. Y'all are serving your ego. I can show y'all niggas how to make your ego a servant, and all it does is feed me money, pays my bills, all that shit. I don't even notice it. I don't even have to pat it on the head. It needs to survive. Y'all misinterpret the ego as a problem. It became a problem. Y'all didn't understand it was a servant that came down here with you. Oh, but we don't have that time, that kind of lecture time. It's a servant that came down here with you. You got to know how to get it in check. That's a part of that chakra work, and that's what me and Rich talked about in that goddamn workshop. Y'all need to get in that shit. Y'all think I was playing? Shit, I was not playing. Y'all need to get in that because, you know, I explained how to start flipping your energy through your chakra work, or at least I let you know what chakra work is headed out, what's in store for you, and different concepts. I added the occult concept. I'm sure you heard of eat bananas, that's yellow. No, we go a little bit funkier with it. And when you do that, what you got to understand from the solar plexus where the ego comes in, once you forgive it, and it has no place to go. I talked about that, about forgiving, compassion through the heart chakra. And remember, this chakra has no place to go anymore. Think about that. Because it was fighting, it was holding on to whatever because they called you a punk. It was holding on to whatever proudly because they said you know what I'm saying, had a great chest, whatever the fuck they said in high school. Now that you don't care about it, it doesn't know what to do. So it will seep into consciousness if you don't know where to put it. Most people think once they get here, they're supposed to be this poor, righteous teacher. So it's not really being poor because you were already fucking poor. No matter how many sneakers I show you, I'm fucking poor. You know what I'm saying? I can't change the condition in terms of financially, you know what I'm saying, for nobody but my personal family. So I can't change the condition of a nation or a people with money. So you're poor. You know what I'm saying? You're living under somebody else's idea of money, no matter how many stickers someone shows you. So that idea of rich ain't it. And that idea of nigger rich ain't it. It's really about just what you can carve out for yourself around this motherfucker at this point. And like I said, I understood if I started to become this poor righteous guy, the ego that I was didn't give direction to, that's sitting here in the solar plexus, is going to want to work his way up into my newfound consciousness. And that's usually what happens. So you hear more twisties, more outfits, more hotep, and I love you, brother, and all that shit, because the ego just retransformed itself here. You got to give it a new direction. So I still let it do what it was trained to do all its life, pursue material wealth. Still let it do it. Let it do it to serve you, because you understand material wealth is not why you get out of bed anymore. Material wealth is now a bitch of yours, a tool, something that you can use to only further your consciousness in your study. And all that other shit that you had dreams about when you was a little kid, do it too if you can. And long story short, it's the science of making your ego have a new purpose that actually still feels good while you're having this earth bid. You don't have to feel guilty about materialism if you control it while you're here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There's this guilty feeling, oh, it's material. No, it's material if that's the ceiling on your consciousness and why you're doing it. But if you understand it, if you get to a level where you can understand and manipulate it, I'm at a I could throw all this shit in the garbage and still feel proud. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Still, Khadijah will not love me less, no matter how many sneakers or pair of pants I have. And that's really the key. You know what I'm saying? Have you reflected in someone else's eye enough to be that worthy? Is better than that. But at the same time, do not feel guilty if you want a big TV. Do not feel it. You know what I'm saying? Don't feel you have to feel that way. If a big TV is bigger than your spirituality, then you have a problem. Fuck that shit, nigga. Do as thou wilt is the whole of the law. The more questions?
Man, I wanna thank you, Panic. We're gonna end it there. I want to thank you, my brother, for coming on. The next show I do, brother, definitely you and the Queen Khadijah.
Yes.
Still on there sometime in August, so sometime next month.
I know she talked to you about when she's ready to roll, and then when that time comes, we're gonna kill that shit too. And let me tell y'all need to go do that workshop, because I heard some of the things the other brothers are gonna offer. Phenomenal. You know what I'm saying? You can't get this anywhere. You know what I'm saying? This is where you do it. This is where it comes in at. This is the investment that you need. I know from what I put in there is, well, actually, I can't say I don't even remember, but I'm told you need to show up, nigga, to hear this shit. I was in rare form, nigga. Rare form. So you need to go see, you know, Rich always offers you quality. It's so good to see that and hear that. And don't y'all agree? Always. We should give it up to, I can't see the room, but your motherfuckers better be hitting likes and fires and hots and 100s for Rich.
Facts.
For Rich. He kept you quality when you niggas could have been just sitting around listening to some goddamn bullshit. You had a real goddamn guy come and organize this shit and present folks with honor. So give it up to Brother Rich. Give it up to his dear goddess, old earth, on the other side, in us, with us, the sister Adrian, who's brought us so much love tonight. Happy birthday, Mama Adrian. We love you. Rich here. Rich is the mellow fellow. Don't mess with Rich. I seen Rich at a lecture. Somebody tried to cross Rich. They wouldn't do that no more. Rich is a real dude. He's a real pan dude. So honor to Rich, honor to the sister Adrian's birthday. And we are here. She's here with us. I'm happy to meet her. I'm happy to have her here.
Indeed.
Shade.
Listen, man, family, thanks for tuning in. As always, like I said, make sure you sign up for the workshop. We got the meditation going on. We got videos from Brother Panic, Dr. Phil Valentine, Billy Carson, and more. It's going to be off the hook. It's starting September 11th. Call my number for more information. The flyer is on the screen at the beginning, or the link is in the description bar. Hit me up if you need more information. But Brother Panic and Khadijah will be back in August. In a couple of weeks, next month, they will be back. We're going to kick it. We're going to have a great time. And until then, Panic, one thing I want to ask you, when is your classes starting again?
Oh, I don't have a date, but the wise thing to do, we're actually going to start soon. I just let it pile up. And then when I get enough heads, I do it. It's almost enough heads. So if you want to join now that we Zoom, just join, pay. You'll be on the list. I acknowledge you when you pay. So get me to acknowledge you. That puts you in the folder. So my folder is thick now. So we're talking in a couple of weeks. I'm going to throw a date. So if you want to know, the best thing to do, if you're going to join it, you're going to do it, just join. You'll just be put on. You'll be in the next one. Khadijah sends out email blasts. So when it's that time, we're going to blast it out. Get on Khadijah's email blast.
Rare. Why do you think it's so rare right now and hard to find?
Okay. It's been out of print. Let me see. It was first printed in, let me see. Printed, looks like 1962, but hold on. This shit is so a little bit older, so it's a little bit weird. They don't have it on that second page. Yeah, I remember finding it before. Let me see real quick. But for the sake of time, I remember it being in the 60s when it was printed. It's on here somewhere. So what stood out about it in the time? This had to be in the year of perhaps 2007 or 8.
Mm-hmm.
And at this time, I was in a heavy spiritual thing going on. You know, I told a little bit of the story where there was this Bobby Hemmett love tape, they called it, that everybody was trying to get their paws on.
Oh, Misconceptions of Love? Was it that one?
See, I don't remember none of the type.
It was with Shabazz? It was with Shabazz?
With Shabazz.
Okay.
I think not Misconceptions. I don't know. It might have been. If you remember, we did the second one with him. He did number 2, and that one actually had me on it because of what happened when I watched number 1. So when I finally got my hands on this one, it wasn't the Metaphysics of Love and Sex. Maybe it was that one.
Okay.
Maybe it was that one. But it was one of the ones that was supposed to be one of the ones. So at this time, I was still working IT. I had to get up whatever time in the morning, and it was late, so I couldn't watch the whole thing or enough of it. But I was so dying to get this tape. I watched about an hour, and he was kicking it. He was just saying shit that was just made basic sense at the time. Like, your lover isn't responsible for your love. It's your love. It's your chakras. It's your heart. You're responsible. And really, through that person, it's really you letting go. You finding love that's really in you. Oh, here's some babies. You're finding love that's really in you. So all of this was like boom, because you know you're always taught this bitch better act right. You know what I'm saying? This nigga better act right. Otherwise, you know, the consequence. But you know, you learned and you go through this silly argument thing. Now, when him just saying it like that brung the ball back in your court, and someone who was trying to understand how to master self, that little note was an important thing. He said other things that was important on this tape. I thought that stood out. He talked about a movie called Adaptation with Nicolas Cage. And he talked about Nicolas Cage was playing the twin, and his brother was telling him, man, I really love Cheryl, and Cheryl was the greatest in my heart and my first love. And then his brother told him, well, she used to make fun of you. She used to talk behind your back. She didn't love you at all. And Nicolas Cage said, well, that's her problem. I was in love. So what Bobby was pointing out was you have to be in love. It's about your love. And before I watched, I was just taken back by that alone in the first hour. And when I went to sleep, I made this vow. I was like, I want to know what the divine feminine has to tell me, no matter what it is, no matter where it takes me. I'm ready. And then went to sleep, woke up an hour later, had hives all over my body. Thought I was going to be a motherfucker at work. But it kind of went away. And niggas go. I was on the internet when the first Pixel opened up. I was already signed up on all of that shit in beta. So I signed up on Black Planet when everybody, including the news, said never meet someone offline. It's instantly rape. I had no idea that people were doing this. So when I got back to work, everybody's on Black Planet, and niggas started telling me, yeah, I met my wife on Black Planet, and you know, we're doing everything, you know, from Genesis to Revelations with these chicks, and these chicks are doing, you know, the same to us. I was like, oh, well, let's investigate. Let me just warm up this account. And the trend was to inbox you. And then in the inbox, the next step was to ask for your IM.
Right.
Or whatever. That was where it was. You would get it and burn around the country. And it took me a few months to realize that's what I asked for. And that's how she responded. And it was intense because there were ancestors coming through these women. And some of them motherfuckers like aunts to me. You know, they're my friends' moms. You know, I'm talking about who knew me forever. Like, you never had relish before? That's relish. No, good. Like, you know, that little that I could see them. So one of the first things I learned that sex is a greeting or a meeting in that world. It's not like how we view it here. So Rhode Island was along that journey. And I love Rhode Island. I used to hang out in Rhode Island when I was young. So I was glad there was an occasion for me to go back. And went to a used bookstore and grabbed a lot of stuff. Then started looking at this book here. Psychomancy out that store. Now, the order of the day, and here's where it gets important. This is all of that stuff got me to this store. The order of the day was each book you would read, you would see it now. There's this warning. What you do may come back twofold on you.
Mm-hmm.
All that's bullshit to scare you or scare us more or less from really getting into some super funky cold Medina shit.
Right.
So now, but it still is that stigma in your head. You know what I'm saying? You still, no matter how much you read, you still hear that warning. So it's an effective ass mind control tool. Now, it takes you a while to get past that shit. But then you hear why Simon was forced to put a warning in his Necronomicon book because motherfuckers was fucking with those spirits, those Sumerian spirits, and really getting fucked up in the 70s. And so it's stuck in your mind. Now, about this book, there was no warning. He's talking shit. Pretty much how to see through women's clothes with x-ray vision. He's going all, it's just like a comic book. I'm like, nigga, say it ain't so. And then when you read his other works, you see, oh, he was about that. Cycleria, which I did something on about how to open and close your astral valve to pull down from the astral through that silver cord. We did a whole book on that. He's got other things about psychic power control, how to do that. Let me say this before I forget. There's a movie about this book, loosely, about the whole style of this book, called The Master. The Master. It's a terrible movie. Joaquin Phoenix is in it. So you know he tries to be real fucking Joaquin Phoenix-y. That's the dude who played the Joker.
Mm-hmm.
So it's one of them artsy movies. What's the dude? He died. He killed himself, actually, on drugs. He's in it, one of his last performances. But they're doing all the fucking exercises, or a lot of the exercises from Cyclomancy in the movie. She goes, look at my eyes. He goes, what color are my eyes? He goes, they're blue. He said, see them as brown. Look until you see brown. You'll never see brown per se, but the act of using your imagination to see brown,
right?
That's the point. It's not the destination. It's doing. It's what you're doing, and I'm gonna get harder into this a little bit. Is trying to break down what you call reality. You stuck yourself on reality based upon your agreements. A book like this starts breaking down your agreements with little things you call reality. And it starts putting you in a mindset of spirituality. All things are possible. or more creative and what you call it, visionary in your thought process and how you factor in how you see yourself. We see ourselves with some pull yourself up by your bootstraps, A B equals C, 5 plus 4 minus 7 equals 2. If we can see ourselves and visualize through our imagination, you go a little bit further in terms of how you magnetize. But we're fighting against a reality that we've already have defined in stone. As up is up, left is left, right is right, and that's how it go. You go to
everything that I speak about is based off our anatomy and astrology. So when you look at our anatomy, and you look at our genetic makeup, we actually have the sun. We're particles of the sun. If you go all the way down to the smallest minute, which is a smallest molecule, you will see that molecule has what you would call subatomic particles, which is electrons, protons, and neutrons. That's come directly from the sun. So, and if you look at our brains and you look at the nerve, our neurons inside of our nerves, they look like what you would call if you was to pull a plant or a tree out of the ground, you was to deroot it. You would see the roots look just like dendrites. The roots look like the roots look like the dendrites that are off of your neurons, and your neurons look like the stars and the constellations in the sky. So when I say sunblood, or people saying sunblood, that's because we have the consciousness of the universe and the blood of the sun actually flowing through us.
Excellent. So what would you say if people say you worship the sun? For those who are Christians, I got Christians on this channel. A lot of people be surprised. A lot of Christians, they sneak and watch this channel. So for those who may be beginning, they say you worship the sun. What would you say for somebody who's saying this brother Kalai is worshiping the sun?
Well, those that are saying that I worship the sun don't understand. I understand they don't possess the properties of understanding genetics, because the sun produces red blood cells. And what do red blood cells do for the body? Red blood cells builds up what you call your immune system, your lymphatic system. That indicates that you have a healthy body. So our ancestors, ancient ancestors, understood our divine connection to the sun. We understood that the sun moves on different electromagnetic frequencies, and we have the ability to vibrate on that frequency as well. We're literally the sun and the universe walking in the flesh. So when people say, "Well, you're a worship of the sun," I'm not worshiping the sun. Everything outside, when you go outside and you feel the sun, you feel more relaxed, you feel more at peace, you feel more calmer, as opposed to you being in the winter and the cold, because it's called seasonal disorders. This is what we have as Black people when we don't get the sun. So it's very important for us. Sun. It has nothing to do about worshiping the sun. Exactly. It's actually becoming one with what you truly are, and that's the sun.
Indeed, my brother. So we're in 2022 now. There's so much talk about the age of Aquarius. I'm hearing a lot of talk about the sun that we have now is a new sun. It's not the sun we had 4 years ago, 5 years ago. Is there any truth to that? And if so, can you explain how is the sun new?
All right, yeah. I'm gonna share my screen with you with something real fast, but just so I can explain this a little bit further. Yes, we are completely enveloped with solar radiation. That's why right now in the north, if you do UV readings, you're getting UV readings at 8, 9, 10, and 11. These readings are South America readings in the summertime. We're getting these readings up here in the wintertime because the ozone layer is being removed, and we have a red star and a blue star that showed up in our atmosphere. The sun that we see up in the sky, those small lights are generators. They generate energy from our core sun as Earth traveled throughout the cosmos. We went to each constellation house. We were up there for approximately anywhere between 26 and 3,600 years. And this is a test for us. And now we're back at the very beginning. This is why all your mainstream science and all your mainstream leaders talking about the Great Reset. We're back at the beginning because this is the Great Reset that we are all facing.
So the red and the blue Kachina appears during the age of Aquarius or the golden age. That's when it appears.
Yes. The first one shows up, the blue. They say when a blue Kachina shows up, and then he wait for his brother, and then the red one shows up, and that's when destruction starts to happen. That's when it's supposedly a pole shift. But me personally, I don't really get into the pole shifts or anything like that. I just look at what's taking place in the constellations and look at what's taking place on the ground. And we have a group of people here that has been seeded here and planted on this planet by extraterrestrials that is now coming to light.
Why so many times when I go to YouTube channel it says I am not black? What's that about?
I am not black because we're not black. If you look at this shirt is black. Our skin is brown. We have what you call hydrocarbon. But if you look at melanin, which you understand, melanin is condensed sunlight. We hold all the colors of the spectrum inside of our melanin. So if we call us black, then that's taken away from who we truly are, because black means void of color, void of life, the furthest way from what you would call divinity.
So in terms of the sun, when you showed the video and you said you showed the sun in a red and blue Kachina, some people say that the sun is actually black. What's your thoughts on that? They'd be like, the sun is black. Hitler used to talk about the black sun. What do you know about the black sun?
Well, the sun is actually red, but at a distance it looks black. This is where you get Amen Ra. Amen means actually hidden. Amen means hidden. Ra means the sun. The black sun was hidden. So at a distance, the sun looked black, but the closer it gets to us, it starts to permeate red. And this is where you're getting now the red iron oxide dust, the different colors in the skies that are taking place on the planet.
So I see you be doing these readings. What's like the UVB, UVC? What's these different readings that you be doing in these different names? What do they represent?
All right. When you deal with UVA and UVB, radiation deals with your outermost part of your body, your skin, your eyes, your hair. UVC radiation deals with the interior. UVC radiation is a small wavelength, and it pierces directly to the DNA molecule. Directly to the DNA molecule. So UVC radiation right now is altering our DNA. Everyone on this planet, no matter if you're artificial or you're real, everyone on this planet, DNA is being altered. It's either being upgraded or it's being downgraded. That's exactly what's taking place on this planet.
So what would you recommend? I mean, a lot of black people, if they go to them places, you know, they get them folks tell them you're vitamin D deficient. So I remember one time I had back pains, probably like 10 years ago. And then I ended up going there, and they told me I was vitamin D deficient. Now, at that time I was living in New York. So what would you tell melanated folks? How much sun should we get?
I would tell you to get anywhere between 4 and 5 hours of sun. But if you can get at least 2 hours of sunlight a day, mandatory. I sit in the sun. Mandatory. I sit in the sun from 9 o'clock to about 4 o'clock in the evening. When we were slaves, we were outside all day.
All day.
Before we were slaves, we were outside all day. But somebody understood our divine connection to the sun, and you keep us inside all day, it'll keep us in a low state. It'll keep us in the amygdala, the stem part of your brain, basically your root chakra, whereas though you never reach your crown chakra where you actually can think and process information. So if I keep you inside all day, if I feed you poison all day, regardless via television, whether it's the food industrial, and I have you with undeveloped brains, I'm going to have you as a reactive people instead of a response.
Indeed. Interesting. So there's this concept known as above, so below, and they say that a lot of the technology that we use is emulating our inner technology or the cosmic technology. So we got the computer, and the computer has something where we could store data called the cloud. You know, you can store data where you don't need a hard drive or whatever. You just store data in the cloud and you can access it. So in the sky, when we look at the sun, we got something in the sky called clouds. So my question is, you, since you're analyzing the sun and they say light is information, is there actual data in the clouds that we can access if we know how to access it? In the clouds in the sky, that is.
Nah, the clouds that are in the sky, to be honest with you, are pretty much a camouflage. That's why they came out with the movie Note. That's why they came out with the movie Note, because they have to give you the truth to lie. The clouds are camouflage. We think that these people have control over the weather. We control the weather. So if you look at the areas that have the most storms and tornadoes, all you have to do is look at what's currently happening right now and what took place during history. So if you look right now through the Midwest, all of the tragedy and the devastation that's happening in the United States, in Kentucky, you understand? Look at the black people and the children that they abused during that time. So all of it is now reversed and coming back, and these are not just weather anomalies. This is scientifically and strategically being done across the planet.
So you said we control the sun. I've heard Bobby Hemmett. I don't know if you ever heard it, brother. He said before, our Kundalini, when our Kundalini rises, the sun temperature rises. Do you feel as though there's truth to that statement? And can you expand on how we control the sun?
Now, this is what I would say. I would say for myself, I believe that we don't control the sun, but I believe that we're constantly inputting and outputting information with the sun. We control all other elements, though, but we don't control the sun. Understand? The sun is a gigantic, that's a collective family thing. But far as all elements of the planet, we can manipulate individually and collectively. Like collectively, me, you, and other brothers seeded everything here on this planet. And this is something that everyone is coming to realize. Me and other brothers seeded everything on this planet. See, that's the problem. They needed to keep us separated from that, so we can never look at our individual ability and our abilities collectively together, what we really can do. It wasn't one individual that built the pyramids. We built them collectively together. It wasn't one individual to design the honeybee or the ant or the elephant so they can all work in unison with one another. We did that together. We are the top geneticists, creators on the planet. This is why it's so hard for us to be abusive to foreign people that has been abusing us, because we believe in creativity, because that's all we do is create.
So could you you said this you were talking about the sun. Some people say the sun is a portal that brings light in from, you know, another dimension or a central sun. Could you talk to me? Do we have a central sun behind our sun that's feeding us light and information?
No, I believe that the sun that we have up there is a portal. It allows us to travel because the sun moves through different dimensions. The sun moves that. However, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. Like again, A, we control the sun. B, that anything is hitting from us that we couldn't see 20 years ago. Me and you can see. There is nothing that can be hidden from us. This is why they constantly have to have us drugged up. Food industrials, your medical, your education, even the language that we speaks deals with the development of our brains. It actually slows us down. So they has to constantly attack us in every which way possible to keep us here. Because the moment we start to see, this is what we will instantaneously start to do. And that's the big fear.
Indeed. So what's your opinion on sun gazing at sunrise and at sunset? Is there extreme benefit to doing that?
Yes, well, especially when the sun is rising early in the morning, you're now just coming back into your body, your soul, and had an astral travel. You now coming back into your body. You know, you're in this dimension. So now sun gazing is very important as far as in the morning, and then in the evening, because the radiation levels are high between, I would say, 3, 4, 5, and 6 o'clock at night. Then you can absorb the sunlight as well. Yeah, I strongly agree, because every time I sun gaze, honest with you, I have to wear glasses when I'm inside the house. Sometimes when I'm reading, but when I'm outside, I don't have to wear no glasses when I'm reading. Nothing. So sun gazing is very important. I tell people, please do that, because it heals my eyes.
That's very interesting. That's very. And so also on your YouTube show page, what is your YouTube page, by the way? For those who we got over 2,000 people in the building, and I'm sure they're interested in what you're saying. Tell them your YouTube page so they can see more stuff.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm gonna pull my joint up real fast so people can see my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel. I'm blocked right now on YouTube, but yet this is my YouTube channel. Just to know that just because you think we were enslaved, you gotta go past. No, you don't. Your brothers and sisters are observing. They are learning and watching you. This is a very important and critical time. Those that want to submit themselves in this world, as opposed to submitting themselves amongst the stars, are going to stay here with this world. So this is a very critical moment for our brothers to get back to their ancient ways.
In observing the sun and the cosmos and everything, there's so much debate about whether the earth is flat or not. Do you engage in that type of talk? Is that important? What you think about that discussion?
Now, the reason why I don't engage in that conversation, because we have to ask ourselves a question. The system that so-called Black people are participating in, the economic system, the political system, the medical system, the justice system, is that flat around? Is it well-rounded for us, or is it flat? It's a flat line for us. So I don't need for me to go. Let's focus on the system and how the system was created. The system was put together by a group of people that are unnatural to the planet. How do we know this? For sure, just looking at biology, looking at the development of a cell. Their cells have just two things, citrol and ciella. Both of them are directly connected to animal DNA. Our cells is 0.2 to 0.21 millionth of a millimeter. Their cells is 10 to 100 of 1 millionth of a millimeter. Their cells is gigantic compared to our cells. How did they get all of that DNA information inside of that cell? How did the prokaryotic cell, which is a single cell organism, wake up in the morning? How did a monkey, a cow, a chicken, a fruit fly said, you know what, we're going to share our DNA together and we're going to make something? How did that happen? That's the number one thing that we should be focusing on right now, because our children are suffering because of this. Our children shouldn't be participating in these schools. Our children shouldn't be participating in these medical practices as well. The Black woman today has been weaponized. She believes that she has a voice when it comes to her child. If you don't take them to the hospital, DHS is at your house. If the doctor how could someone that fed your child to crocodiles, we talking about children now, I'm not talking about adults, fed your child to crocodiles and did medical experimentations on them, and now can look you in your face and tell you if you're a fit or an unfit parent? How could somebody do that? And the only way they can do that is by them continuing for us to focus on if the earth flat around, who was the better speaker, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, where did we come from? The reason why it's so easy to switch around on us and say where did Black people come from, because terrestrials that created the people here don't even know where we came from. So you can easily confuse that. But as far as all these other people on here and these extraterrestrials, we know where they came from because we seeded them here. We seeded each and every last one of them here. We're not supposed to eat. When you look at our organs, they're in the shape of fruits and vegetables. But when you look at our genetic makeup, we perform what you call photosynthesis. We don't have organelles in our or cytoplasm. We don't have organelles or membrane inside of our cells. And organelles, they work with accepting certain DNA sequences inside or out. This is what they do. They allow some in and some out. So for an example, humans 98% monkey. Then you have 80% cow, 60% chicken. So what it does is that molecule says, okay, I'm gonna let this information in, I'm gonna let this information in, I'm gonna let this information in, but I'm not letting no more of that information in. And this is what takes place in their bodies consistently. This is why monkeypox is now so prevalent, because their anatomy is breaking down because of the UVC radiation, along with the red iron oxide dust, to be exact. But we perform what you call autotrophies. This is what Black people do. This is why right now, with the frequency that's happening on the planet, a lot of us are eating less. We're not sleeping as much. We're more hungry for information. We're curious now. because your consciousness, there's a different frequency that's hitting your brain. So it's heightening your awareness, your surroundings, your environment. Everything that we felt that was something wrong as a child, we are feeling it even more as an adult right now. So we perform what you call autotrophies. Auto means self, troph means fed. We literally eat the sun. We take the sun and we remove the oxygen, the hydrogen. We remove the hydrogen molecule from the water, and we create what you call glucose, which is sugar. And then you have invisible, what you call carbon, and that's carbon in the air. And we use nitrogen, and it's how trees grow. So a tree is nothing but an extension of us. Everything in nature is nothing but an extension of us to remind us of what we can or cannot do.
Powerful, my brother. Do you ever there's so much talk about what type of water to drink, and our bodies, as they say, 75, 80, 85% water. Since the sun, everything that it does, do you ever charge your water in the sun? Is that something that we should be doing also?
No, I'm not telling anybody not to do it, because I've never done it. But the only water that I drink is distilled water. Distilled water, people say it don't have no minerals. Yeah, but you have undigestible minerals too that they have in water. But distilled water has no minerals. And if you're eating like you're supposed to be eating, you're going to get your minerals from other places. And once you start drinking distilled water, I can promise you within 2 weeks, you will first of all, as soon as you start drinking it, you're going to see your body start flushing. And they'll tell you not to drink distilled water. But who are they telling not to drink distilled water? Remember, they say distilled water strips from you. Who is it stripping from? Distilled water is not stripping from you. Who is it stripping from? Them. We need they at all your top shelf liquor, distill. All your instruments before they use them in surgery, distill. So why all of a sudden now we don't drink distilled water? When we drink distilled water, it flows through our body. Our skin starts to change. We're not supposed to retain water. Our body's going to retain the water that it needs already.
Definitely. Well, once again, family, just to let everybody know who's coming in late, they're asking for your Cash App. We about to put the brother's Cash App on the screen right now. I just want to thank everybody for tuning in. This is brother Kalai Mayat Amunra. I said that right?
Yes, okay, my brother. Yes, thank you. Thank you. My brother said it right.
I want to make sure I say it right. Great, amazing show so far. The brother said it. I mean, the brother's been on fire for half an hour straight so far. Let me share.